Pendant plus de 40 000 ans, le continent australien et les nombreuses tribus aborigènes qui le peuplaient vécurent à l'écart de notre monde. En 1788, l'arrivée d'hommes blancs venus d'Europe balaya comme un fétu de paille l'ordre millénaire des aborigènes. Déportations, maladies, massacres, spoliations, un génocide ignoré faillit réduire à néant l'une des civilisations les plus anciennes et les plus riches que la Terre ait jamais portées. « 40 millénaires d'isolement avaient forgé, chez les aborigènes, une vision du monde aux antipodes de la nôtre. Pour eux, passé et présent, rêve et réalité, n'étaient pas irrémédiablement séparés, comme pour nous, par des frontières infranchissables. L'homme ou le groupe existait avant tout par la relation singulière qu'il entretenait avec son environnement naturel. Plantes, animaux, rochers, cours d'eau. Ce lien spirituel avec les éléments s'exprimait depuis la nuit des temps dans des rituels et des codes d'une rare complexité, que la domination blanche avait fini par stériliser au point d'en menacer l'existence. Aujourd'hui, les aborigènes relèvent la tête. Longtemps considérés comme des parias sur leur propre terre, ils tentent de renouer le lien avec leur passé perdu. Durant les semaines que nous avons passées en Australie, dans le désert brûlant du Nord-Est, nous avons été les témoins de ce changement. Peter Bindon, anthropologue australien, nous a autorisé à suivre la campagne de fouilles qu'il va entreprendre avec son équipe. Il est chargé de recenser le patrimoine aborigène de la région avant le lancement du Pasminco Century Project. C'est un vaste chantier, posé au milieu du désert, une énorme dépense de technologie destinée à exploiter dans un avenir proche le deuxième gisement de zinc au monde. Depuis peu, la loi australienne oblige les compagnies exploitant le sous-sol à inventorier les richesses culturelles que pourraient receler les zones où elles interviennent. Ces expertises sont cruciales pour les aborigènes, et ils sont d'ailleurs conviés à y participer. De cet inventaire scientifique dépend en particulier le montant des compensations versées par les compagnies à leur communauté, montant proportionnel à la richesse du patrimoine estimé. Au cours des repérages, une colline, qui pourrait avoir été un site aborigène important, a particulièrement attiré l'attention de toute l'équipe.
We're on the edge of what will be the future pit. This will be many acres, many hectares in extent, out underneath all this limestone. I'll show you the edges of it later. And the horseshoe-shaped hill just in front of us is Magazine Hill. And the company's afraid that when they make the pit, sometime when they're blowing down the sides, that whole hill will slide down into the pit. So they're very keen to have permission to remove the hill completely. And we have to decide whether this hill can go or not. That's the question.
Le travail commence dès notre arrivée. Ce matin, l'équipe d'anthropologues et d'archéologues nous a donné rendez-vous sur le site. Les délégués des Wahani sont arrivés par avion de Numaji, une réserve située à 200 km au nord. Peter veut nous exposer à tous les enjeux de cette recherche. C'est notre premier contact avec la colline de Magazine Hill. Nous nous demandons si le travail que ces hommes d'horizons très différents s'apprêtent à mener ensemble sera, comme nous l'espérons, l'occasion de confronter des visions du monde qu'a priori tout semble séparer.
JP, you can see our problem. We had and it's filled now with plastic with soil on the top. Yeah. We had a metre by 50 here, just there, and it goes down more than 70 centimetres. We'll take that out and clean it up, ready to go. But 70 centimetres of sediment in a small cave like this. So what we want to do in the next couple of days is we want to take that soil out again exactly where it was. Take out all that plastic that we got in there, and then we'll take from the wall somewhere some small blocks of sediment. He'll take them to his laboratory, and we'll also look at the grains of sand. We've got to sort out exactly what's happening down inside there so that we can make some sort of lucid decision about what this whole place means.
Plutôt distants, les premiers contacts nous laissent un peu perplexes. Et ce qui sépare ces hommes nous paraît peser plus lourd que ce qui les rapproche. Pour les Wahani, qui retrouvent aujourd'hui la terre ancestrale dont les Blancs les avaient chassés, c'est un retour, peut-être une forme de revanche. Pour la compagnie minière, qui obéit à la logique du marché, ce morceau de terre est avant tout une source de profit. Pour les scientifiques, ce site est un témoignage du passé dont il faut tirer un maximum d'informations dans le temps imparti à l'expertise. Le travail en commun permettra-t-il d'instaurer un dialogue ? La grotte de Magazine Hill pose la première véritable énigme. À quoi servait-elle ? Que représentait-elle pour ceux qui la fréquentaient autrefois ? Les aborigènes formulent les premières hypothèses.
There's never been ceremony in this place?
Up in this cave here? Not that I know, no. But this is where they might have come after they went through ceremony, eh?
This where they
After they went through the ceremony, they might have brought them up here. They might have stayed here, bring food from here, because they're not allowed to be with other people, see?
We're not allowed to be in the river.
They come up here and because after they can't walk or nothing, you know? So they just sit down in the cave in the cool. And other people go out hunting and that, bring the food back for them, look after them, bush medicine. That's what this might have been used for, see? And all the Wahani people from this area, well, they all come here in the wet season, see all the young fellas, and they take them over there then. Every year, you know, over hundreds of years. And that's where they all might have come here and went through the same thing. I'll break the side here first, right?
Yes.
La température du sol ne varie pas non plus, elle est relativement constante. Un tout petit peu plus élevée que celle de la paroi, mais à peine. On le voit là sur le diagramme, le sol et la paroi, sur les lignes rouges et oranges. Ça varie très très peu. Donc l'hypothèse que soulevait Glenn tout à l'heure d'utiliser cet abri comme site annexe aux cérémonies d'initiation ou on peut dire d'initiation, qui sont éprouvantes pour les organismes, est peut-être une bonne hypothèse parce que finalement là-dedans on est à température permanente et on peut reprendre des forces tranquillement si on t'apporte de la nourriture et de l'eau.
La chaleur accablante n'empêche pas l'équipe de travailler à un rythme soutenu. Pour comprendre quelle fut jadis l'occupation humaine de la colline, les repérages se poursuivent sur tout le territoire alentour. Le temps presse, mais comme toujours en archéologie, on commence par marcher et par observer.
Stuff like this. Scrape. Probably use scrape and speed in it. If not for a knife. No.
But what does the company intend to do here?
I want to get the gravel from it. And we just do the clearance of that and make sure it's all right.
And after you give them an answer?
Mate, what can we do for you?
You got a minute?
You're welcome, yeah, come in. Good. 7:30 be fine. Okay, Dave, catch you, Boba. Sorry.
Peter. You just received the request for clearance for that area there.
Yeah, it's up there.
They also want to, there's a bit of a road through here. They want to run a grader over that.
Yeah.
C'est un...
And then over the back here where the quarry shown.
C'est obligé.
Yeah, I'm not happy about this quarry back up there. There's a few problems about this. You know, this other side of Pages Creek here, we've got a ceremonial ground and a couple of bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And they're going to divert Pages Creek around that, but I just want to find out exactly where that is because the impact on this thing here is something that we've got to monitor pretty closely.
Okay.
So Peter, what's the problem here?
There's no problem directly here, but it's a question down on this open area because there's a creek here called Pages Creek, and on the edge of Pages Creek there's the ceremonial area, and although it's not used now, it's got important heritage value. So we just want to make sure that any activity here doesn't impact on this area on Pages Creek, which is quite close, just here somewhere. So now we're going to go to the top and look down and just see how close this is. Well, what do you think about this place in relation to that ceremonial area on Pages Creek? Think it's far enough away or what?
Let's give it a look after that. Make sure no damage to it.
We got a fence around that place?
Yeah, we have to fence it. It's not even fenced in.
No, that one's fenced in.
It's fenced in.
Yeah, you got
a fence around it.
Yeah, that one's fenced in, remember?
Peter Bindon est le garant d'un équilibre fragile, et sa position peut sembler paradoxale. Il intervient en tant que consultant employé par la compagnie minière, et il est chargé par elle d'établir une expertise. Mais en même temps, sur le terrain, son métier d'anthropologue l'amène parfois à s'investir fortement dans la défense de la loi aborigène.
So if you'll take the axe off the thing there.
So Peter, what are you going to do here?
I just said all that.
And is this a place where nobody's allowed to go?
Oh, this is a place where some people are not allowed to go.
This area has been delineated off limits to construction.
So the archaeologists are going to have a look at something on the ground up here, but I'm afraid you can't film here. You'll just have to stay behind the sign.
Okay, what's the reason, Peter?
There's a culturally sensitive area up there near where my truck's parked, and it's an excluded area, so no other kinds of activities can take place in there, and there's no permission for filming in there.
Aujourd'hui, Peter nous conduit dans un endroit qu'il a choisi pour essayer de nous faire partager la vision du monde des aborigènes.
What does this remind you of? Looks like a skin, doesn't it? Skin of a lizard, perhaps the skin of a snake. So these things actually are representative of all these journeys of ancestral heroes across the landscape. And you can follow any one line, like this line here going down. This might be the line taken by the possum people. And crossing this line across here is a line taken by, let's say a snake. And the next one here crossing like that is a kangaroo. And this one going down here is a blue-tongued lizard. So you can see it divides up the countryside just like a road map. The street of the blue-tongued lizard, the street of the kangaroo, the street of the snake, the street of... Every animal can have a street. And of course at the intersections, something happens, just like something happens in our cities in the intersections. There's always a crash or something happens at the intersections. But you can see that this intersection could be, it might be this little water hole here, a good place to have a drink. It might be a good place to cut spears. It might be a great place to collect grass seeds and grind them up and make some kind of damper out of it. It might be a place where someone had a fight, where two other people got married, any kind of thing. All these little things can happen in any one of these different things. So you can see that if you know the story and the intersecting stories, actually in your head you've got an amazing map of the landscape, which is a map of the resources, it's a map of the creeks, it's a map of the hills, it's a map which actually explains the countryside. And these kinds of places and these kinds of designs which are on sacred objects which you can't film, but these kinds of things are used to teach the young people about their history and their ancestors and all the kinds of things that went on in the countryside. And you can see this is a perfect classroom for that kind of thing. Look at this.
Pour les aborigènes, l'univers est un être vivant qui respire comme nous, en même temps que nous, un tout créé par les héros ancestraux. Ceux-ci, une fois le travail accompli, se sont installés dans le paysage sous forme d'animaux, de plantes, de minéraux, et depuis, ils dorment dans le temps du rêve. C'est là, dans ce temps du rêve, que le voyageur initié peut les rencontrer selon des règles qui se sont transmises d'une génération à l'autre, depuis la nuit des temps. Car pour les aborigènes, présent, passé et avenir ne font qu'un, et ce que nous prenons pour une colline dans le désert pourrait fort bien n'être qu'un ancêtre assoupi. La question reste la même. Où est le rêve? Où est la réalité?
Okay, here's one. Big piece of big blade.
Big blade.
First stage of flaking, you see?
Oh,
And
yeah.
a big core.
Then that flake off him, mate.
Yeah. And this one is a small one. With a back.
Vous avez des idées sur le chronologique ou...
C'est récent, oui, c'est quelque chose qui correspond au tout dernier millénaire, aux 3 ou 4 derniers millénaires d'occupation de cette région, puisque c'est bourré de microlithes, et c'est bourré de microlithes de haut en bas. Tout petits objets de travailler qui servent de barbelure sur les javelots ou d'armature sur les couteaux ou sur sur les javelots ou sur certains couteaux. Donc c'est vraiment récent apparemment. It should be the same edge, but anyway, same artifacts from the bottom to the top right now. I looked at them yesterday.
Yeah,
And the day before, all the same stuff.
all the same style of
And
making
it
them.
looks really like the recent stuff we have everywhere.
Yeah.
But do you think that the bones under or the rocks under are older than the rocks above?
No. I reckon they're all the same. The fine thing, you just try and think back how they was living, you know, what they was doing here, travelling around here, them old people. They might be watching us now doing it, you know.
En suivant l'équipe au cours de ces explorations, nous sommes troublés par la quantité d'objets taillés, disséminés sur le sol, parfois dans la situation même où ils furent abandonnés, il y a 10 000 ans, 1000 ans, ou peut-être seulement 200 ans. Il y a 2 siècles, en effet, à l'arrivée des Blancs, ce que nous appelons préhistoire était encore une réalité sur le continent australien. À cette époque, ici même, des hommes répétaient à l'identique des gestes inventés par leurs ancêtres 40 000 ans auparavant. Des gestes qu'en Europe, nous avions oubliés depuis des milliers d'années. Ce sont ces gestes et ce passé que les aborigènes tentent aujourd'hui de se réapproprier.
They haven't been able to peel this off the way they like. And so they make these fractures. We call these step fractures. You can see why.
Yeah.
Little steps like that. We call these step fractures. And so instead of terminating in a lovely feathered point like we see these nice ones, like the one you've got in your hand, they snap off too early because there wasn't enough force to rip the whole piece of stone right off, you see?
Yeah.
So this is a mistake, basically. This one here is worth much better. You see the nice feathered ends on the blades here, so he got what he wanted off the next piece of stone anyway. Okay. That was your site tour for today.
Yes, but you know, it's the same model, no? That's the one we saw the other day.
Yeah.
Exactly the same stuff. Maybe one day you're gonna learn, Glenn, no?
I learned already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I learned how to sharpen them. Yeah, they chip them off the side like that. Make them sharp on the sides. Yeah. You hit him on the back there, you know. That's where they hit him. See, they hit him there, and then he flaked off. Yeah. Yeah, I know how to do them. I'll teach my kids too how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it then.
Yeah.
Glenn, jeune aborigène métis, incarne assez bien à nos yeux cette volonté des jeunes générations de retourner aux racines de leur civilisation. Il nous a d'ailleurs confié son intention de se faire initier prochainement. Lorsque l'emploi du temps le permet, entre fouilles et repérages, nous partons ensemble à la découverte des alentours. À travers lui, nous réalisons à quel point le lien des aborigènes à leur territoire est resté vivace.
Pollen cells.
So where is the honey again?
Hier, Matt. Ja, regarde. Oui, il est le mien. Tu le vois? Regarde.
Strong.
Mmm.
Keep the wax.
Okay. Any good?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, taste it, yeah.
Few bits of bark and that in it, but
Wax there, mate.
pretty sweet, isn't it?
All it says wax.
Eat it all and just put the wax out there.
Very sweet. Hmm.
The old people, when they used to grab them like that, they grab one little fly and they get a feather, get a bird feather and take a little bit of white feather off and they stick it on him. And so when he fly away, you see the little white feather flying. And then you follow him then back to the nest.
But you, how did you learn that?
I've learned it off people, yeah, they tell you how to do it, tell me how to do it.
Old people
Yeah,
were showing you the thing.
yeah.
Because every young aborigine knows how to deal with that animals and trees and things.
Not all young Aboriginals, only some, you know.
So
Yeah.
what does it depend on?
Depends on where you are. Out here you learn, but you don't learn in town. But I'm very lucky to come out here, you know. Some people are not lucky enough to come out with the old people and that. I get paid to learn.
It's worthwhile knowing this stuff because
No, it is. It's
what it does for a lot of these things, it puts this stuff into perspective. You know, people say Stone Age, primitive, that kind of thing, you know, and you get all those
for their
connotations.
time, they're very
But
advanced.
there's so many of these things which we think are modern technological advances were invented, you know, or they have their origins in stuff that Aboriginal people were doing 20, 30,000 years ago. I find that fascinating
It
myself.
is. But was there ever a link that they found the technology, or the technology was transferred from Australia? Not that you could never prove that link.
No, technology is more or less existing everywhere, you know, but
It just
it pours
it just
out
happened.
of the background at different times.
It's possible that this technology was invented here.
Is that right?
But
I mean, wouldn't they have
how
this
old are they?
technology in Europe?
Yes, but later on,
Yeah.
yeah, during the last thousands.
Interesting.
Cunning little devils, aren't they?
Yes.
No.
Fuck it out. Make a little noise coming out of it.
Tell him the name of that stiff arm wallaby now, Bungwood. What's the name of that stiff-arm wallaby now?
Mongongo.
Mongongo.
What the noise is making?
What do you take off?
Oh, oh,
It looks like good. What a way.
Hey?
Yeah, they go there now, laughing too much.
You get a hook, you get a very hooky tail behind him.
Yeah, you got a fin behind him.
Got a little hook.
Yeah.
Nail-tail wallaby.
Yeah, he's different than another river wallaby. Another river wallaby, they call him bungina.
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 What them bungina? Yeah.
Bungina.
Oh, bungina.
Yeah.
Did you notice these artifacts? We're not getting the same ones here as we find out on those places. You know where they make those big long blades?
Yeah.
We don't find them in this stuff, do we? No. So there's something different happening here to what's happening out there.
Might be different tribe mix up.
You think it might be a different tribe or there might be different activity?
Could be different rock, more.
Different rocks, yeah. I think there's different, we know there's different stones about here. You can be fairly brutal with it, Glenn.
Yeah.
But the pick is a bit of a dog's breakfast. It's better to drive that thing in and lever up big chunks.
Yeah.
Drive it in on a low angle like that and lever up big chunks, you know.
Yep.
A screwdriver might be easy to hang on to, just however you feel yourself.
Yeah.
Peter, are you making dictionary, a kind of collecting words?
Not really a dictionary, but I'm collecting the names of the resources that we use, like the animals, the birds, the understanding of the plants, the medicines, the foods, the activities, because eventually there'll be what's called a land claim book made for the Wanya, for a lot of this area, particularly the national park, which we looked at over there. And one of the things in the native title legislation in Australia, which is necessary, is to demonstrate a continuity of occupation with of the people in the landscape. And one way to demonstrate that is to show that they still retain an understanding of the names of the resources and the way that they were used. And so this just helps to substantiate their claim to the landscape.
Very good. I like it off. Highest bidder, mate. Hey, he's waiting here. He's waiting here. See, I'm gonna put a snake on here. I don't want to go too deep in this white stuff. I'll carve a little snake on there. That's why I take him off neat, see? I don't cut him in too deep.
Can you already blow in it?
Yeah.
Come in.
That doesn't sound any good yet.
That sounds too good, but
Got too much bark on it. Rock down, mate. Down, my man. Hey!
cost you more money to hear more.
How much is it?
That's only the introductory program.
Yeah, that's just to give you a taste, that's all.
Yes. Throw money if you want to hear some more.
Bigger the bills, the better the tune come out.
Hey.
You make it thinner and thinner.
Yeah. See that red part there, look?
Yeah.
That's where my didgeridoo is. So I've got to go and find him in there. People lost a lot of their tradition around here. In the old days, you know, when the old wild time, when people were still living around here, and the white fellas come out here and they stake their land, they say, this is our land now, all these black fellas get off. And they round all the black fellas up and take them off their lands. If some black fellas want to stay there, well, they'll shoot them, kill the black fellas, kill the kids, the women, hunt them off the lands. They wasn't allowed to come back here to dance or do ceremonies. They wasn't allowed to talk their language in the European places. If the black fellas was talking the language like these two fellas talk now, they'd bash them, you know, in front of the other people so the other black fellas knew they're not allowed to talk their language. They're not allowed to play the didgeridoo, dance, ceremonies. They made them put clothes on. That's what they done. That's why we lost our culture, and it's not our fault. You know, it was just the white man who done it. And just recently now that they're just starting to understand it, you know, with all the native title and that. They're starting to work things out, hopefully. They might. And then we might come back here and start ceremony over here again. And we might bring them back up here again. That's true. They're talking about opening the ground up here, mate. Yep. Ceremony grounds. There's talk about doing it again.
You going up or not? You gonna stay? Hey? Stay?
No.
Depuis plusieurs jours, Pete nous parle d'un lieu où il venait lorsqu'il était plus jeune et qu'il voudrait absolument nous montrer. Mais la mémoire est une chose fragile.
Yeah, can you see any painting along the wall there? Nothing, they all rubbed down. Yeah, you can see a bit of that painting there, let's see. They should do the rainbow surfing, you know?
The rainbow surfing?
Yeah. You can see the paint there. Look like somebody rubbed it all out. See white paint there? And it's all nearly all washed out, eh? Somebody. Yeah.
And is this your dreaming, the rainbow serpent, Pete?
It's not my dreaming, you know, but it's a dream time story, you know. Yeah.
Everybody has a dreaming?
Oh, yeah.
And in your family, your father and mother had dreaming?
Yeah. I don't know what that dream was. Sort of grow out away from him, working cattle station and all that, you know. So it's pretty good. It's amazing that painting all faded away.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I understand. Dim rock could have fallen down there, and, you know, most of them could have faded away, you know. This was a good painting, was there.
And people came there for ceremonies or for their own dreaming?
Yeah, and somebody just come and spoiled it, see? You know, you sort of rub your finger on it and the paint sort of goes away, you know? All right, we'll head back to the truck now before rain come tumbling down. Try and get some mango.
Son désir de ne pas nous décevoir est si fort que Pete est prêt à voir ce qu'il cherche là où nous ne voyons rien. C'est Donald, l'un des anthropologues, qui vient à sa rescousse et le remet sur les traces effacées de sa propre mémoire.
What's that? Big serpent? Oh, that's what I'm looking for. Just up there. Really big. Yeah. Oh, good on you, Paul. Don, look. Don here. Yeah. You come up this way now. Yeah, eh? Don't ask me how long that put there. That 1,000 years.
A long time.
Long way back.
This rainbow serpent is traveling all over Australia, huh?
Yeah. In Western Australia, in the southwest, the Nyungas call him the woggle, the serpent creature there, and he made rivers and things there. That's what they call him, that Wujimala now. Wujimala, that's that dream for Wanyi people side. And he can make water, you know, make rivers. And he starts from here. Yeah. He started here. Started here, yeah. Right to the Gulf. Yeah, that's very interesting, Don, you know. What you see out there, you know, Western Australia, much the same like a crocodile. Not a serpent like this. Yes. That's pretty good, eh? It is. Appreciate you coming up to show us. Yeah.
Symbole d'un échange vital pour chacune des deux cultures, cette visite apparaît comme une sorte de trait d'union entre deux conceptions longtemps considérées comme antagonistes.
You can bring him over here when you're Stephen. Bring him over and we'll put him out here, mate. Put him out here and just put him in. Yeah, very good, fella. Bones and stones.
Bones and stones.
So it's useful for everybody. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's a very
Yeah.
kind of exchange happening here. Huh?
A big mob of exchange, yeah, a lot.
Well, I don't think I could do archaeology without having, well, not in Australia, without having people around. There's just so much information which we don't get from the archaeology.
You're lucky. You're lucky because in Europe we have lost this information. That's what I discussed the other day with Glenn. You know, you have to come here to understand what could be the roots, really. And I don't know an European archaeologist who came here and who didn't change his way of seeing the things after. They all changed their views after being in Australia.
So do you think archaeology may be a way for you also to understand your own past?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You know, if we discuss this with our mob, all the Wanyi people, and tell them like the archaeologist side of view from it, what they think of it, and then we say what we think of it, and we put it together. You know, his information and our information, and then if it comes up to be something that's very important to us, you know, a lot of people might decide and say we don't want the hill to go. You know.
Tomorrow we'll be home, eh? 10 o'clock? 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock, buddy?
Yeah.
L'enquête terminée, Glenn et Pete nous ont fait leurs adieux et sont repartis par avion, l'un dans la ville minière où ils résident à 300 km au sud, l'autre dans sa réserve plus au nord. Après leur départ, et avant que nous reprenions nous-mêmes le chemin de la France, Peter et Jean-Paul tiennent à nous montrer, peut-être à nous révéler quelque chose.
What do we do, Dave? What do you say we should, eh?
Look at that.
Already it's gone down 15 centimetres.
So Peter, what's the end of our story?
Well, I think we suspected that most of this sediment is coming through these cracks. And what we discovered when we looked here was a stone with some, I think, probably special significance. I can't be 100% certain because no Aboriginal person has said to me exactly the significance of this stone, probably because they didn't see it. But it's the kind of stone that relates to the journeys of totemic ancestors, and it's clearly a stone that's not from this country. It doesn't belong to these conglomerates. It comes from somewhere out in the plain where the sandstones are horizontally bedded. It's got some wonderful designs, natural designs on it, but it's been shaped by humans.
We can see the stone, huh?
Unfortunately, I can't show you the stone. I believe the stone was hidden in this niche, and sometime it came out. This was all broken down. I've put it back in there because it's not the kind of stone that should be exposed to public view here. I think it'll be safe back in there. My guess is now that once the Wanyi understand that this stone is here, this little shelter will take on much deeper significance than it has already with their understanding of the archaeology and the things that we've been doing here. And I think this deeper understanding is going to mean that the Wanyi meeting is going to say Magazine Hill stays where it is. I'm sure that that's going to be the end of the story for Magazine Hill.
Nous savons maintenant que la colline de Magazine Hill restera debout, parce qu'elle appartient bien à l'immense réseau magique tissé jadis par les aborigènes sur tout le continent australien. Et même si l'histoire particulière attachée à ce lieu semble avoir définitivement disparu, la colline se dresse désormais dans un paysage voué aux minerais, comme le symbole d'un devoir collectif de mémoire. La préhistoire aura trouvé ici un chemin inattendu pour éclairer le présent des hommes, et peut-être aussi leur avenir commun.